Hey everyone. How is everyone doing? Happy Monday. If you're in the US, happy President's Day. I thought I would hop on and do some work on the Vipers and the Ivy project. The jacket is way over here. So we're getting pretty far on this project. I might have to raise you up a little bit. Rowan, are you gonna come say hi at the beginning of this? You love attention. Come here, buddy. This cat. Um, he loves attention. He always knows when I'm about to do a live or do a meeting. He always shows up. Come here. Yeah. Hi. Please let me know if you can, if you can't hear me. I have my mic on, so it should be working. But um, yeah, hello everyone. Happy Monday. I am here in cloudy Los Angeles. It is currently raining again. And I just figured grab some coffee, grab some of my dragon scale smocking fabric, and get to work on the last panel of smocking for this project. So this is one of the big hurdles that I've been kind of coming up against. I've been very busy with work and with Adventurers Pack lately, so it's something that has taken a slight back burner as far as like the big stuff goes. I have been doing some small work on some of the details that I want to use. So I taught myself how to do some needle lace, and I'm going to use that to make some small ivy leaves to put on the jacket. I'm also going to do some other stuff as well. So, um, yeah, that's kind of where I am. Hi, Beans. Just noticed that she walked by. Uh, so yeah, there's just going to be a chill vibe today. We can chit chat, and if you have questions about my project, you can ask throughout the live. And this will probably run until about 3 p.m. Pacific. I have some errands that I need to run before this evening. I have some stuff to do this evening. So, yeah, get your beverage, happy time zone, get your coziness on. Rowan is so happy. Look at this face. Oh my gosh. Look at this face. Oh, buddy. How are y'all? How is everyone doing? Hi, Beans. Are you gonna help? Cats, super helpful folk. My productivity just went. "Meow." Ah, man, I am a little froggy this morning. Not only because of the rain and perpetual allergies, but we had our battle royale at Cantrip last night. Rowan, you cannot get in the shirt. Um, which was a blast, an absolute blast. But I am quite worn out now. I am quite tired. My team placed third, buddy. Yeah, my team placed 3rd, which is basically where I placed last year as well. Last year I placed 2nd and 3rd. We, had a tie for that. Technically, I guess my character would have taken 2nd because he had more hit points than the other character did. But yeah, it was a tight game last night. We ended up having to do, um so it was an 8-hour game. This is Dungeons& and Dragons, by the way, an 8-hour game of Dungeons& and Dragons, battle royale. It was NPC or PCs fighting PCs. Sorry, beans. Um, and it was just, a lot of fun. It was intense, but we did end up, um, playing D&D for basically 8 hours straight. There were a couple of breaks, but nothing huge. Maybe a 10-minute break here, 15-minute break there. And by the end of it, we all ended up just having to. Normally, it would be fight to the death, like last man standing. But because we had so many people playing, it meant that turns just took a really long time. And when turns take a long time, people don't go out super quick. So the last 4 teams, it was at the last hour, so starting at 11 p.m., we were like, okay, whoever has the most HP left at the end of the hour, so at midnight, is the winner. So it was quite intense. My character ended up going down, but did make it to the top 3. But it was a formidable fight for sure. Mm, should have done that a little bit differently. It's a-okay. Yeah, the character I play in that campaign is a wildfire druid. And he's fun. He's my sweet little baby boy, Eden. I was paired up with the other druid in our campaign, Eleutherial, who is a Circle of Stars druid. Some wild stuff that they can do. But yeah, we were our ship name, our team name was Starfire, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, there were 8 teams total, which was amazing. It was wild, and it was kind of like Avengers Civil War when each of the groups are like fighting against each other. We had basically like a rough allyship of 4 teams against 4 other teams um, that weren't really in full alliances with each other, which is fine. We had more like truces rather than alliances, but it made the top 4 teams that made it were our alliance. So just shows that when you work together, you can accomplish anything. Yeah, basically, for those of you who are familiar with the Gauntlet, the show that I'm on Fridays over at the Adventures Pack, it was like 8 hours straight of the one of us roll on the Chaos Wheel, or I guess, yeah, that's on the Chaos Wheel still. Steel. So I just realized I didn't post self-promo in Adventurers Pack or Emmy the Odd. I should probably do that. Great. Cool. Cool. I did it. I did it. Mm. Gosh, I love coffee. Gotta say, it's always nice to have a project that you can put over your lap when it's overcast and slightly it's not even that chilly, like, it's 66 in my apartment right now, which is not bad for, you know, hanging out with a light long sleeve shirt. I usually run pretty hot anyway, so I prefer to be chilly. I do feel like I need to start thinking about the Met Gala, which is the first Monday in May. And I usually try to do a Met Gala look every single year. And this year, it's the Garden of Life. Is that the theme? So it's like right up my alley. Um, so I need to figure out what kind of piece I want to make that's avant garde. So if you guys have like suggestions or what's a good word for this? Like things that you want to see. I don't want to say desire because that feels weird, but like if there's something that you want to see me make, let me know. This piece could actually technically work for the Met Gala look. So maybe I'll do double duty with this because it should be done by the Met Gala. I'm pretty sure. We're getting very close to like the big body work of this being done. And then after that, it's a bunch of details, but I'm not going to go too ham on the details on this. And I think I have decided I'm going to do a hook and eye closure for the front so it's practically invisible. So once I try this on, I'm going to see if I even need a button placket or if it fits across my chest comfortably, then I might not use it and just put the hook and eye closures right on what it looks like now. But we'll see. We'll see. Everything takes longer than I expect it to, and I've just gotten used to it. That's something that I accept as the fate of a hand maker, somebody who hand makes everything. I would love to learn bobbin lace for this project, but I'm not sure I'm gonna get to it. Also, happy belated Lunar New Year to people. I think that was last weekend. So happy Year of the Dragon. Which I guess it's kind of funny that I'm making dragon scale smocking in the Year of the Dragon. But it's not quite a dragon suit, it's a snake suit. Vipers in the ivy. At some point, I do need to try and make some pants. I thought about doing a vest, but I think if I have enough for pants, I'd rather do that. Um, because I think then I have a suit, coat, and then pants to go with it. Um, if I want to do a vest, I can do a vest in another material. Like I could even do a vest in this material if I want. I think I have enough. And if not, I can order more of that if I absolutely need to. So we'll see. God, you can really hear how froggy my voice is this morning. Well, this afternoon. So when I'm hand sewing, I like to do a length of thread that is just about my wingspan, doubled up. Because then when I sew, I'm not dealing with too much thread, but also I don't have to keep cutting new thread over and over and over again as often. So it's a nice little trick. Mm. Also, thank you all to everyone who's subscribed lately. You've gotten me to 7,833 subscribers. So I am 17 away from 7,850, which is just really exciting. I was expecting this to be like kind of a slog, but it turns out if you tell people in your life that you have a YouTube channel, some people will actually subscribe. Turns out if you promote yourself IRL, it works. Imagine that. But I'm really, really grateful to all of you. My goal is to hopefully get to 10,000 by the end of the year. So yeah, I'm working on it. If you want to share my work with other people that you think might find it interesting, please do. Every last little bit helps. So I usually post one long video every month and then do at least one live every month, sometimes two. January was kind of a quiet month because I was so dang busy with this project and with work. So, because I do not want to give myself a repeated stress injury. So, uh, I try to take breaks from things that when I'm using my arms, my hands, and pretty much everything that I do uses my hands. So, got to be very careful. They're my most important tools. Definitely feel like I did a better job of fusing the fabric on this one. The other one, I felt like I had some gaps that didn't fuse. And since all of this fabric, well, actually, technically, the part that I'm doing now is probably going to get cut off when I get to the actual sewing of the shoulder panel, which can't, it's quite just a little bit out of frame here. Um, the corners of that panel get cut off. But I like having the full piece smocked because then I can choose the best looking section. Um, oh, you can kind of see it in the mirror behind me. Yeah, the shoulder panel right up here. Let's see, how do I do this? Or do I do this? I realized leaning back, you can't see it. Yeah, I covered it up. It's fun. I'm watching myself. Anyways, um, yeah, yeah. The corners get cut off, and I save the cutoffs because I might use them in some art pieces that commemorate this project, and I might put those up for sale on my website for anybody who wants a piece of this project. I think I'm gonna do some basically like painting with fabric on a canvas. I think that would be fun because I have a bunch of scraps that aren't really usable for actual sewing. Some of it is, but a lot of it is, just chunks or small bits and pieces. And I think that might be nice to just make a few small limited edition art pieces, like wall art, that I can send out to people and help fund future projects here on the channel. Shoot. I meant to do a little bit of a knot there, but I pulled too tight too quickly. There we go. Ugh, this is never not satisfying. This is such a satisfying process, the smocking, because you just take a little section. Here's a square. Get into the first corner, second corner, third corner. Oh, shoot. Proper third corner. There we are. I was off by half a centimeter. Fourth corner, and then back to the first corner. Put your thumb or your finger right in the center to push it in. Cinch it tight. Boom. Done. And then I like to do a single knot to tie it off. And then you just move diagonally onto the next one. So I can just use a continual thread, and it's dope. Man, it's been a wild week, I just realized, of D&D. Because last Wednesday I had Melos Machina, where we had dinner with a high-profile person in the campaign, and then got betrayed by someone who we thought was our friend. Friday night was the gauntlet, which is always intense, but my character failed a saving throw and ended up getting his memories eaten, I guess. And so now he's kind of screwed up. And then last night was the battle royale at work. So my characters had a very eventful few days, and they're none the wiser. But me, the player, is like, I'm so tired. Barely made it with what I had left on this thread. It's called playing yarn chicken or thread chicken. Barely made it. But made it I did. There we go. There we go. It's kind of wild because you can't do this kind of smocking on a machine. There are some machines that pleat for you, like automatically, and you can do some other kind of smocking that way. Um, but this all has to be done by hand. I'm gonna cut that stringy bit off. Hey, I am enjoying my rainy day. How about you? Emmy told me about some troubles from this morning. Yes, have your warm lunch. Do you guys you have umbrellas. Make sure that you bring an umbrella, for it's raining out. Luckily, it seems, at least over here, it seems to have kind of let up a wee bit. Yeah, exactly. When it's a downpour, I don't love it, but at this level where it's just like a light drizzle, I'm like, actually, I do love it. Also, if you see me squinting, it's because I did not put my glasses on yet, and I don't wanna. So I'm just gonna be Squinty McGee for for the stream. I am working on the dragon scale smocking on my jacket. This is the pre-version, what it looks like before it gets ironed and turned into actual dragon scales. And I've been kind of putting this off because it's a very large piece of fabric. And my arms have been tired, my shoulders been tired, but I have energy and time today. And that's all I can ask for. What have you been up to, sir? Oh, nice. Is this world building design stuff, or are you working on some other project? Oh, that's good. It's always important to have side projects. Because I don't know about you all, but sometimes I still have that creative itch or the need to be working on something, like my hands or my mind. But sometimes, like my current project, like right now, like my current project, the scope is too big than what I have mental capacity for, or it's just not grabbing me right away, but I still need to be doing something. Cool. Gaslands, but different. So no ice cream trucks with flamethrowers on the side. Oops. Ah. What? I'm not a monster. Also, I think I just heard a package get dropped off for me. From me mum. Oh, it was so much fun. I scream, you scream. We all scream for ice cream. All right. Have a good day at work. Have a good day at work, Scotty. Mm, let's see. Let's grab this package. Yes. 2 packages, technically. Oh, heavy. So damp out there, y'all. Which one is this? Okay. So I'm gonna open one of these because it's some supplies, if I remember correctly. My mother is sweet. I love her. She is an artist, a painter, and has always been into various creative fields. And for a long time was really into jewelry making. Wrong box. These are snacks. Little care package from Colorado. This box has seen better days. This has now become an unboxing. Oh yeah, this box has definitely seen better days. Barely survived. Awesome. So there's, what is this? Oh, that might actually be very helpful in my leather work. Wire, beads. Oh, sweet, more needles. Tape measures, thimbles, stuff like that. Wonderful. I swear, I have not had to buy like new what do you call this stuff? Like, not accessories, that's not quite the right word. Notions. I haven't had to buy new notions in ages. Oh, is this metal wire? Like old electrical wire? Cool. Thanks, Mom. Clippy, 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 clippy. A micro engraver? What? This is so exciting. Except there are beads all over in here. This poor box. Yeah, this poor box has seen better days. But that's very exciting. Yay, we're gonna have new stuff to play with in a future project. And legitimately, you can never have enough needles. I use all of these in general. And also these curved needles are a little bit less of a like a half circle than my other ones. So those are gonna be way easier um, for what I need them for. And I think, yeah, these are perfect. Yay. Then I want to see these number and letter punch set because I do leather work sometimes. Yeah. You can do this on soft metal or on leather. So I could actually do some fun text stuff on leather and some numbers. Ooh, how exciting. Thanks, Mom. And I can use the opposite side for textures. Wow. That's so exciting. I can also use these as pattern weights if I want to. They're heavy. Heavy as heck. I'll make sure that I text her after I'm done since you're currently watching me on my phone. Also, I'm glad I was here when those packages arrived because it being damp outside, I do not want any of the stuff in that other box to get ruined since it's perishable food. Oh, also, if y'all haven't seen episode 5 of the Vipers and the Ivy project is currently up on my YouTube channel. So, if you want to see the project go from a mock-up to a almost fully sewn jacket, you can do that on that video. I was concerned that if I had waited until the whole jacket was finished, like not the accessories or anything, but the actual sewing of the jacket, it would have been another month before that episode went out, and I do not want to lose steam on my content schedule here. I also don't want to burn myself out trying to make content at a quick pace. So I figured I'm just going to have to put the video out where it is. This is a vlog style thing anyway. It's still fairly edited. It takes a few hours to edit these videos. Um, but it's less edited than, say, like, documentary or a video of that nature. I'm excited to try that micro engraver on some rocks or even glass. Ooh. Also, it totally feels like a Sunday, but I know it's Monday. But this is gonna confuse me all week. Just all week. I'm gonna be very confused. Xanadbug! How are you? Happy time zone. Yes, it is. That is the traditional greeting of the mods. Always brings a smile to my face. I for be good. Tired. We had our second annual battle royale at Cantrip last night. So our players from our Thursday night D&D game fought to the end. But I also worked yesterday, so I was basically at the shop from 11 to 1 a.m. So what is that, 14 hours? Um, so I'm very tired. And then Friday night's gauntlet was exhausting, and I worked Saturday. I worked Thursday, and Wednesday night's Melis Machina was quite exhausting. So, 3 intense games of D&D within 5 days with work sprinkled in between each of those days. I'm a tired boy today. But how is a bug? Unless the Me Too is good. Oh! It's it's all good. I mean, more I'm sorry that you missed it for you, but we never expect people to, like, be there. It's been a bin. Oh. Oh, but you're having a friend that's lovely. Um, I won't spoil the Gauntlet if you haven't watched it, but, it was a messed up episode. It was an intense, messed up episode, but fun. Very, very fun. Yeah, I understand how that goes. Mm. Oh my gosh. I know, I got a little rambunctious last night. So, like, my throat's not sore, but it's hazy. I think that's the best way to put it. Where's your friend visiting from? Are they traveling from pretty far away, or like, you don't have to tell me, but has it been a long trip for them? Oh, fun. Oh, from Boston. I love Boston. Oops, sorry, microphone. Yeah, so that's a decent chunk or decent distance. Um, oh, I love Boston. I've only been twice, but loved it both times. I am obsessed with the MFA there. My ex and I once had a Valentine's dinner at the MFA, and it was so worth it. It was so good. Back when I had like expendable income, she had an audition out there for the Boston Conservatory of Music, and we decided to make it a little Valentine's Day trip. Which, good idea in theory, but anybody who's ever been to New England in the winter knows that the snow sucks. So we got there and it was quite snowy and very like, what people don't understand about New England snow is that it's just ice basically, and it's wet because it's coastal. So we were walking towards Boston Harbor at some point, and it was just like spitting in our face. It's just like, how? But yeah, that's probably one of my most memorable trips to Boston. That was a good trip. The first time it was when I was visiting my aunt and uncle, who lived out there for a long time, because I was looking at Boston College when I thought about where I wanted to go for school. I ended up not going out of state, but my uncle used to teach, um, well, poetry and literature, but he specifically taught a class on Emily Dickinson. Um, so it would have been fun to like go to Boston College and see my uncle all the time. My aunt used to work at a Japanese girls' school in Boston, but now they both live in Santa Fe. I need to go visit them at some point. I love Santa Fe. Oh, is Boston College a party school? Oh my god, I didn't know that. I also went to a party school technically, but I was not the partying kind. I'm the kid that took like 19 credit hours in his first semester of college, two of which being two classes being bio and chemistry. So I spent 3 hours each in recitation a week and then 5 hours each in lab. So what is that? 11 hours each, 22 hours just for those two classes. So that didn't include the other that I took, 4 classes. Yeah, that first year was rough, but I survived. Barely, but I survived. All the while having a roommate who was a partier and would often come home to our dorm like at 3 a.m. where it's pitch black in the dorm room, and then of course the hallways are all like super bright. So he'd open the door and it would just be like and not being particularly quiet either, because he was usually drunk or high or both, crossfaded, if you will. Oh, yeah, literally. Well, because like my every day I had an 8 a.m. class, so I was up by usually 6:30, so I could get ready, go get food, and then walk across campus to go to whatever class I had. Luckily, the dorm that I was in was technically like the science dorm or one of the science dorms. So it was closer to where the science buildings were, like the life science buildings were. But it was still, you know, 10 to 15-minute walk to get to class. And you want to get early so you can get a good seat. Because both Chem 1 and Bio 1 were those giant stadium classes that had like over 150 students in it at any given time. Yeah, yeah. It's a doozy, huh? Oh, oof. So dyscalculia plus an 8 a.m. class for math, yuck. Not a fun combo. Brutal. God, I just remember I had my giant laptop that I would bring to class, and it barely fit on any of the tables. It was a 17-inch screen, which I'm like, I'm wishing I had bought a smaller laptop. Like nowadays, I'd be like, as small as I can get without not being able to read. But, I was writing all of my papers on it, I was doing all of my homework, doing all of my other stuff on it, but it was insane. Oh, that is so nice. Like you time traveled. Yeah, my first roommate was a guy from Northern California, Bay Area, um, who had, like, short surfer hair, basically. He was one of those folks who went to our school who were like, "I'm gonna just ski in the winter, screw classes. We're gonna go up to A Basin," is what it was called, or Eldora. Oh, nice. Yeah, every year, my classes were all over the place. I didn't usually have a lot on Fridays. It was usually towards the end, it was, like, Mondays and Wednesdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, because that's usually how it goes with those upper courses. But in all of that, I also had a lot more workload to do. And that was also at the point where I was doing art school along with my bio degree. So I was in the photo lab all the time. There were nights I would stay in there until 3 AM, like, working on developing film or working on mats. But that was just how it was at the art school, like, all of us night owls, we'd, like, pass each other in the halls and be like, "I see you." Oh, that's nice. By the time I was in art school, I was living pretty far off campus. I was closer to the law school, um, which was probably a 15 to 20-minute walk away from the rest of main campus. But luckily, we had a pretty good bus system. So if it was ever like really bad weather, I think it was called the Stampede. We also had the hop, the skip, and the jump, which were different bus lines in Boulder. Yes. Yeah, traying wasn't really a thing in Boulder. There weren't a lot of safe hills to do that on, or at least not, like, close to campus, I should say. Yeah, I feel like traying is one of those East Coast things. Didn't quite make it over the Mississippi to us. No, traying is not safe, like, in and of itself, but the hills close enough to do it were, like, streets, but it was a curved hill, so if you missed, you'd end up in, the Boulder River. Boulder Creek. Sorry, not Boulder River, but some areas it was a river, and it would be very cold and wet. Ugh. Oh my god. To be young again and not worried about traumatic brain injuries. And now I'm like, I sleep funny and my neck is like, "Mm, I'm gonna be stiff for a week." Yeah, right. My brain is still developing, and you want me to be smart? I'm supposed to be training to be a professional in the real world here? Future doctors, engineers, musicians, artists. Hey, do you want to go get a tray from the dining hall and slide down this hill? One of my old roommate's friends was convinced that if you don't pee while you're drinking, you won't get drunk. And I was like sitting with a literal like biology textbook in my lap on my dorm room bed going like, sorry, what was that? Like, not me having spent an entire semester on the human body. I mean, that's it. It's survive and get good enough grades, right? And then most of us don't even use those degrees once we're out of the school. Playing thread chicken over here. We got fleeced. Ugh, so true. I have noticed that the alumni association has stopped calling me to ask for money because I think it's been just long enough that they're like, eh. Because what? It's been 12 years since I graduated college. I need to text Emmy and be like, it's 3 years away from our 20-year high school reunion. You're not going? Neither am I. Because most of my friends that I like missed from high school, we all moved away and they don't go to those reunions either. And then most of the people that I don't really want to see again, uh, they're the ones that are going to do the reunions. It's like, I'm sorry. I don't think we hung out in high school and I was never really friends with you. Why would I want to spend a night interacting with you? No thanks. This is such a satisfying texture. Stretch. It's always important to stretch when you're working, y'all. Oh. Hello. uh, Not too shabby. I've done one, two, three, four, 8 rows. Oh my god, are you kidding? 16? There were like 550 in my graduating class. I did not recognize the people sitting next to me in alphabetical order. I was like, "What?" Yeah, the older oh my god, the other shoulder, the older shoulder. The other shoulder is coming along. This one is done. Here, I can do that real quick. It's looking good. It definitely sticks out where it meets the fabric because it's just so much stiffer. But once my body is in this, it should be fine. So, yeah, but look at that back. Damn. Like, even though I did my best to get this to be my shape, the dimensions aren't quite right um, for the form. I might have to just make one of myself. So, oh my god, K through 12 plus faculty plus staff was still less than 100. Yeah, my high school is like 2,500 students. Faculty probably would have been, huh? I'm not sure. Quite a bit. Oh, are you gonna sit behind me, bud? Hi. What you doing? What you doing? Rowan is helping. He's just gonna make yep, yep. I can feel him making himself comfortable behind me. History was you, just you. That is wild. Most of my classes were so I was in a lot of CP and AP classes. So those had like a few fewer people, buddy, but not much. It was like maybe 24 students. Well, no, I guess 30, probably about 30 in those classes. Now that I think about the tables. Yeah, in a public school. Look at this baby. Yeah, bud. You want to say hello to everyone? Cute aggression. He doesn't purr as loud as Beans does, but I wish I could pick his purrs up on mic. Yeah, kitty stream. It's a kitty break, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, one of the overlords. The other one is up on her cat tree, just chilling out with the rain. He has no cares in the world. Do ya? I know. The problem is I do have allergies to my kitties, but in general, I just have allergies. So I haven't been able to like breathe clearly through my nose for more than a few minutes at a time for my whole life. So, like, even if I take allergy meds, if I take Claritin, which is the only one that seems to like consistently work, I can't. Because the only thing that really opens my sinuses is spicy food, but it only lasts for a while, and then I'm even more stuffed up after. But you keep bonking the mic. Um, and then Afrin, which is like a vasodilator, helps open up your airways. So, but you aren't supposed to do that for more than 3 days in a row because it can be addictive and then give you chronic nosebleeds. Mitchie! Oh my god! Hey, ow. You've entered the cat portion of the stream. How are you doing? It's good to see you. I miss you guys. Hi. I feel like I should get Beans, but I think she'll be mad if I move her. Oh, okay. Yeah, true. Try. Although it's not so much toys as it is box. I can has box. How about garbage? Can I have garbage? He's my little garbage cat, for sure. Buddy, your nails are very sharp. Ugh, I can't tell you how happy I am to see your names in chat, y'all. It's like the old days. It's like the old days. Belly, belly, belly. I've got your belly. You're purring, but you want to leave? Okay. Ugh. Oh no. Okay, there's a knot in that. That's gonna be a problem. Anyways, hi Mitchie. I am working on smocking more fabric. Mm. And we've just been chatting about some of our college experiences, and then moved on to how large our graduating classes were for high school. Ugh. How long did you have to do that, Mitchie? Because that cannot, yeah, that cannot be a short task. Ah, okay. One of my favorite sayings was, "Your poor planning does not equate a emergency on my part. However, that doesn't always work in every workplace." And frequently it's a, poor planning on my part means everyone should panic. Oh, wow. Wow. I'd be pissed. Or at least miffed. I'd be rather miffed and probably passive aggressive about it. Because that's just who I am. And then if they asked me, hey, why didn't this get done? I'd be like, well, I was scanning in all these books. Yeah, lots of employers are lucky that employees can't mutiny. Closest you can get is a union, but it's not quite the same as forcing a captain off their ship. Just start playing sea shanties as, like, a warning, you know? You know, some good lines like, "Shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor." Also has spoons. You know, a good spoon thwack kinda hurts, like, for real. I've been good, busy. I've been very, very busy. We've had people out at work for, like, 3 weeks in a row, different people for different reasons, but we're already a small team, so even just one person being gone changes the workflow quite a bit, and the workload quite a bit. So I've been doing a lot more there, and we're also kind of working on some stuff behind the scenes right now that's taking a lot of energy and focus. And then, of course, I've been busy with Adventures Pack recently. So I'm just kind of tired, but also good. Um, doing my best not to burn out. Lots of self care going on here. So doing what I can to hang in there. She's a Zan, like a true Zan. I mean, you are also technically, sort of. Even though you're ZA Nightbug, your whole thing is Zanite Bug. I have been a busy butt trying to hustle. One of those things of like trying to earn enough of an income to actually pay my bills, pay my rent. It's obnoxious. The cost of living is too high, and living alone is like, God forbid, somebody would like to have a job that pays well and be able to pay all of their bills, including rent, with it. Imagine that. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, it's wild. It's like, I don't know. I think about this a lot. Is I would like to be able to enjoy the place that I live in. However, I spend most time out of it to work. Like, what the heck? To afford it, to afford the place I'm living in. Like, I do not regret moving to California, but I do kinda miss owning my house back in Colorado. But then I would have had to have stayed in Colorado, and that was not really in the cards. That would not have been good for my mental well-being. Be a very different life right now if I still lived out there, and I am much happier out here. Whoa, 16 years? Is that what I'm reading? Dang. That's great that you guys can see each other. That's lovely. Friendships like that are few and far between. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I adore Colorado. Love it. Um, I loved growing up there, but I spent 30 years of my life there, and it was very stifling for me, and I needed to get out. And since every bit of my life was already changing, I was like, I guess let's move. And my besties live out here. So it was a pretty easy decision to make. Yeah, I know you've moved around a lot. No, I'm the only person in my immediate family who's ever lived out of state for any extended period of time. And they're happy like that, and that's great, but, I don't know, I've always been a bit of a wanderer at heart, and so I'm glad that I've been able to have that experience out here. And I've officially lived out here for just over 4 years now. My 4-year anniversary was on the 17th. I started driving out from Colorado on February 15th, 2020, landed here February 17th, 2020, in my U-Haul with my cats, my ex. Didn't even have a place to live yet. Spent the first few days looking for an apartment and then found one. Thank you, bug. I am too. It's been really, really healthy for me, really, really healing for me. It's funny because a lot of you have kind of been with me on this journey. You know, mid 2020, when I first started streaming, met all of you through AP or through Emmy. And now look at us. Happy moo-anniversary. Hear a raven out there. Oh, Beans, that was a big sigh up there. Yeah, even though it's virtual, it's great. Oh, you saw a bunch of cows while driving to a spot. Oh, fun. Yeah, no, I'm so grateful for all of y'all, especially you OGs who've really stuck it out with us through thick and thin, through all of the growth that we've done, primarily because of y'all and our own hard work and determination. But yeah, we're just so grateful for your support, your friendship, even though it's digital, it's still valid. And now Mitchie knows how tall I am in real life. I mean, we've definitely busted ass. But we wouldn't have busted ass if we didn't want to put our best foot forward for you all, you know? But yeah, who knew building your own production company, running it all out of a homemade studio would be so much work. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought that kind of style of video would be good for this project. Um, because it wasn't so much like a how-to for most of it. It was just a gotta get this done. I love how my chair keeps scooting back. The next video will be more on the detail work. I'm gonna finish the other sleeve after I'm done with the scales. Um, but I'm not gonna focus a whole lot on that. I'm gonna focus more on the detail work, the accessories, and then the jacket will be done probably. And after that, I think it's going to move on to the pants, depending on how much fabric I have left. If I don't have enough fabric left for pants, I will make a vest and then just figure something else out for pants. And then after that, eh, well, what's happening is my chair is scooting back and then my butt slides down. Um, but yeah, so then I'm gonna make a shirt to go with this outfit. But I think I'm gonna have to order fabric. I do have a gift card that I haven't used yet. And I'd rather go in person, but the nearest Joann Fabrics is kinda far away from me. So well, I'm glad it makes you laugh, Mitchie. Glad it amuses you. I mean, if I had my way, Xanite, it would be no pants. But apparently the internet requires you wear pants. Daily life requires you wear pants. Rude. Or should I say trousers? Since pants are a very different thing in the UK. Granted, I think that slang is probably cross cultural now. Trousers, jeans, pants are pants. It's simple. Exactly. It means underwear are rubbish, which I love. I think pants is one of my favorite, like, it's not really a curse, but like saying, oh, that's pants is one of my favorite things from the UK. Like, that's just absolute pants. Yeah, pants are rubbish. Pants are pants. That's what they are. Also, rubbish. Rubbish. We call it trash or garbage, but like rubbish. Ooh, ooh, it's so good. Should probably get some water. Ugh, that would be hilarious. It's funny because I tend to use the British spelling of gray. Um, theater, I change how I spell it depending on what kind of theater I'm talking about. If I'm talking about like going to the theater, it's the British spelling. If it's movie theater, it's the American spelling. And I don't know why I do that. Probably because I associate theater with Shakespeare. So, back when I was doing some copy editing and content writing for a marketing agency, I always had to remember like which company I was writing for because I would sometimes have to use the British spellings of color, labor, that kind of thing, just to standardize it. Oh, 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 oh. They call it a bonnet? Wouldn't it also be the boot? I didn't realize you could use the word bonnet for trunk. Because the way I picture that, oh, is like a convertible. The bonnet on a convertible. But I forgot some cars, not in America, the hood of the car is a place that you put stuff in on some makes. Oh. Oh, it's a boot and bonnet or a trunk and hood. I see. Oh, that's so funny. Cars do have roofs, but I know they call on convertibles, they call the thing a bonnet. Interesting. Kinda makes sense, it looks like one. It's like a little hat for your car. Yeah, Mitchie, that reminds me of, words on stream when Emmy plays it. Sometimes I'm like, "Why is it not picking up this word?" Like, is it not considering this like an English word, like an American word? I get very confused, but also I lag. My lag on that game is like multiple seconds. So by the time I type something in, 7 people have already typed in the same thing. Yeah, my internet is trash. And they're always like, "We're gonna make you pay more." I'm like, but it's garbage. It's rubbish." Yeah, yeah, same. Like, I'll still see the old numbers or I mean, letters, and then I'll start seeing in chat because my chat doesn't lag, but chat will be on others. I'm like, "Those letters aren't even on there." What? Oh, yes. I always hate it when it's like, okay, the F is fake, and then after that, the only words I can think of are words that have F in it. And it's like, damn it. Because I love a word game. I was one of those weird kids that was like, I'm gonna read the dictionary. And so I did. Not like I retained much of it, but like I was a very loquacious child with a great vocabulary. Also, going to probably hop off stream in 10 to 15 minutes because I have errands to run and it's still raining, but not as bad as it was this morning. But I have a meeting tonight and I need to refresh myself. I should also get some like laundry done on my day off here. Ooh, well, enjoy a nap. I hope you have a great rest of your time with your friend. That's such a fun little blessing. Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for hanging out. It's always a pleasure, seriously. Of course. I was glad to do it. I might stream a couple more times this week. I might do a couple over on Twitch just so I don't completely ignore it, but I've been enjoying YouTube. It's way more chill. But yes, good night. Good night, Bug. Ciao. It's such a satisfying process. We're getting to this part where it's like each row just keeps going longer and longer and longer. The fabric is getting harder to hold, or at least when you're in like the middle sections. The edges, you're right next to the edge, which is great, but in the center, woo. Oh, so I am working on the next panel of scales. So what I have to do first is get it to the smocked texture, and then I press each scale flat by hand. So it's the shoulder details for the jacket. But yes, this is my Vipers in the Ivy jacket. Completely hand woven, hand sewn, some machine sewing, but hand woven and mostly hand sewn project. So quite avant garde couture, if you will. Thank you, Mitchie. I think so too. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. It's definitely been a major labor of love. I'll probably be in the triple digits of how many hours I've spent on this by the time I'm done. But I've learned some new techniques, I've perfected some old techniques. I've gotten to experiment with stuff. So it's been an overall just like really wonderful project to work on. There hasn't been a point at all where I'm like, ugh, I'm sick of this. There have been a few points where I'm like, oh, my fingers are ready to fall off, and I can't actually physically work on this right now. But that's when I move on to like a different part of the project, something that doesn't require as much like handwork or whatever it might be. The hand sewing of the scales to the body of the jacket was quite difficult because it was going through like multiple layers of thick fabric. And even with a thimble, just that like repetition of your fingers pushing on something and grabbing tiny little things is exhausting. Sorry for yawning. Goodness gracious. I was at the shop until 1 a.m. So I don't think I got to bed until like 3:30, I think it might have been. Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish this amount of thread that I have and then call it a stream so I can go get the other stuff done that I need to get done. And take a good hand break. Also, I gotta say, I love these heat erase markers, or not markers, pens, because I was able to mark out my grid, mark out which squares are getting smocked, and then once I iron these scales down, all those markings are gone. Although you can't really see them anyway. Um, one, they're in the folds of the material, and two, they're going to be on the inside of a like lined pattern piece, so you wouldn't see the inside anyway. But it does keep everything clean looking once it's done. I'm frozen. Uh-oh. Ah, it was low power mode. Was trying to come in here. There we are. Thing is, my phone is plugged in. So I guess it's using more juice than it's charging, I guess. Ooh, man. Every time I look, I'm like, "Oh, I'm making such great progress," and then I see how much fabric is still yet to need to be smocked, and I'm like, "Oh." But it's a marathon, not a sprint. Exactly. Well, it's like, not only overwhelmed, but this is the kind of work that you can easily burn yourself out on or also give yourself a repeated stress injury. Once you're past the halfway point, it's great because every row is smaller and smaller and smaller, but on this part, each row is 1 square bigger. No, 2 squares bigger. Um, so yeah, it's just feels a little Sisyphean at first. Like, I am very grateful that I figured out a more efficient way to do the smocking. The first time I did this, I did not do it very efficiently. Granted, that was like 5 years ago. Um, but as I was experimenting with this technique, I found some ways that made it way more efficient for me. So less time consuming and less fiddly. The part that's always going to be time consuming and fiddly is pressing the scales because you have to get them just right. And you're dealing with a hot iron, hot steam, and very, very small folds. So, like, the number of times I've burnt my fingertips on this project already is like in the double digits, probably. I've also sewed through my fingertip at least twice, catching like the first couple of layers of skin in my needle. But in general, I've gotten much faster at this technique because I've practiced it a lot. All right. This is probably the last. Yeah, I'm gonna do the last scale on this one. Just barely enough thread to get around, and I don't think it'll be enough to go around the next one. All right. Not bad for 2 hours. A fifth of it, maybe? We're halfway across the fabric, but because it's on a diagonal, it's not half of the fabric. So, oh, probably an eighth. Yeah, so 1/8 of the fabric done in 2 hours. So 16 hours per panel. Yikes. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Um, I try to put out videos every month, once a month, of whatever project I'm working on. And I've been doing lives. So, hello, welcome. If you want to get notified when these things go live, you can subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss when I'm going live or miss an upload. The newest episode, episode 5 of the Vipers in the Ivy Jacket Project, is up on the channel already. So you can check that out. And yeah, thank you all for hanging out with me today. It was lovely to see you, Mitchie. Thank you so much for hanging out. It was always so good to catch up. So um, yeah, I hope you have a good, I guess, night, uh, good time zone, wherever whoever you are that's watching right now. Have a good time zone. And I might see you later this week for another live, another studio live. So goodbye, everyone. Now I have to awkwardly get up and end the live, and I always forget where.